This week, we're helping a homeowner create a family room with character.
And my biggest challenge was what to do with this massive wall.
It's big and blank, isn't it?
It is.
I've been helping homeowners improve their home for a lot of years. They think it's intimidating, but it actually can be a lot of fun.
And we're here to help.
Here you go.
Dad's the expert, but I've learned a few things along the way.
Practical, realistic home improvement information is what today's homeowner is all about. This house was built in 1958, and it was recently purchased by Barbara Krigler. She lives here alone, but has frequent visits from her 4 grandchildren.
Nana Ninja!
3 active little boys, and 1 little girl.
I had not owned a home since I divorced almost 20 years ago. I'd just been renting for years and years. So this one I kept coming back to. It scared me because it's older, but I love the character of it. I love the hardwood floors, and I love the big open natural light and the living space. I love working in the yard, but when it came to the house, I just didn't know what to do. I just don't have a knack for it. I don't have that eye for putting things together.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Good to see you.
I've seen a few pictures of this place, but it always looks a little different once you get in here. So
right. So I'm just still getting settled, and my biggest challenge, which is why I reached out to you, was what to do with this massive wall. And
Big and blank, isn't it?
it is. So obviously it's a good place for the TV to be.
Yeah.
And
we sure do hang a lot of them. You know, hang a lot of them on the walls.
Yes.
We're about to get the hang of that.
Right. That was a bad joke, Danny.
Sometimes you just know when you're naturally funny.
But then what to do under it, you know? So I've been looking and
I know what you're going to say.
what?
A fireplace.
Yes.
Not wood burning.
I would prefer a fake fireplace.
Is that right?
Candles
Okay.
will work just fine. I love fireplaces, but I don't want to fool with the mess.
Might work. There's all depends on how much we don't want to lose much of the room.
Right.
And then behind you here, this wall.
Also big and also blank. So some kind of accent wall.
Yes, I think so.
And it can be as simple as just a bold color.
Okay.
You know, again, you don't want anything that's going to make it feel smaller.
Then, so this, I love this window. Mini blinds were here. They've got to go.
You don't like the mini blinds, huh?
No.
Do you want some kind of privacy?
Well, yes.
Okay,
I'd want to be able to close it up at night, but I'd like for them somehow to disappear.
Yeah.
I mean,
some
is there any
like
way?
valance maybe?
Yeah.
Kind of decorate the top of the window.
I mean, I would love that.
And
That
actually
way.
have like a flat spot on top. Do you have any bowling trophies that we can put up there?
No.
You don't have?
No, I don't bowl. Don't bowl well
Okay,
at
I'll
all.
let y'all take care of the accessories.
When's your comedy tour?
I don't know. I got to work on a little more material. Next, Chelsea and Barbara look at some mantle ideas so we can make a plan.
Yes, I think that would look wonderful.
To break up that long, boring wall, we'll create a small bump out, like a real fireplace. We'll build a mission-style mantle to frame an electric LED fireplace and hang the TV above it, with lights on either side. We'll add crown molding to the room and a grid work of applied molding to the accent wall. Finally, we'll conceal the window treatments with matching cornices for both windows. When we return to work, the next step is clearing the room.
I noticed you were a cheater when you were painting, Barbara.
Oh my gosh,
You
yes.
missed behind the chest of drawers.
I've actually forgot I did that.
I'm sure there's other people who don't paint behind their furniture, but not everyone has a TV camera coming in and exposing it.
You didn't think anyone would ever see it, did you?
No, I did not.
Blame it on the previous owners.
That's a good idea. I already messed that up, didn't I? I didn't want to move the chest of drawers, so I just painted around it.
It wasn't that big. She could have moved it a foot.
These can go straight to the garbage can.
Tell us how you really feel.
The day that I moved into this house and noticed mini blinds, I wanted to take them down. I hate mini blinds.
I know people don't actually like mini blinds, but they tolerate them because they're inexpensive. But Barbara detests them. Oh my goodness.
While Bear and I continue clearing the room, Chelsea and Barbara get started on the accent wall.
All right, we're gonna take this board off of the accent wall. So if you wanna use the razor knife and just score the caulk on top.
Oh, okay.
So it'll come off a lot easier. There we go. All right, that's how it's done, all in one piece.
Is this where we demo?
No,
Come on.
we're building walls, not tearing them down.
I get it, demo is more fun, but we're not doing it this week.
Come on, girl.
I think I'm gonna break it. The tool.
Would it help to get a big screwdriver? Give you some leverage down there? Okay, so I found this.
Well, it's not really what that trowel is meant for, but if it works.
Is that what that's called? So I don't even know what a trowel is. Apparently it's a trowel, I don't know. I was just digging around in my toolbox looking for something that was skinny and small that would fit in there and pull that off. I don't know why I even own a trowel.
A trowel is not the right tool for this job, but I love her ability to improvise.
You're a mason and you didn't even know it.
No matter how many power sanders you have, and I have them all, but you do occasionally need to hand sand. So I thought I'd show in this simple solution how to make some really easy sanding tools. First, I started with a piece of sandpaper and I sprayed the back of it with adhesive. Then I took a paint stick, stuck it down into the adhesive, trimmed it off a utility knife, and then I repeated the process with a piece of PVC pipe, rolled it across the back of the sandpaper and trimmed it off. And this is what you end up with. For sanding flat surfaces, you've got the paint stick, and then this is the PVC pipe. And so the paint stick is great for flat edges, flat surfaces, any flat surfaces, even outside curves. You can see how it very easily conforms to outside curves. And then the pipe is excellent for inside curves or contours, anything like this that you don't want to use something flat because you might flatten out the curves. So the pipe being round works perfect. Look at that. And the great thing about this technique is, of course, PVC pipe comes in many, many different sizes, so I'm sure you'll find one to fit your project.
We're helping Barbara add some character to her home with a few simple upgrades, including a cool accent wall.
Okay, so we need to determine the width of the boards for this grid wall.
Okay.
So this is how it comes. This is the full width of this siding. And this is ripped down from that. So this is about 3 inches.
I think the narrow one, I believe.
I'm kind of thinking like just a tiny bit wider.
Okay.
And one reason is because if we rip this a little bit wider, then the waist from the other side, we can use it for the fireplace and the balances.
Okay.
So we'll have no waste.
That sounds good.
Okay, Bear, we're gonna go a little bit wider than this. So if this is 3, let's go 3 1/4.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and keep the waist,
Okay.
because I'm gonna use it for other projects in there.
We can do that.
Yay!
While Bear makes those cuts, I'm making measurements for the bump out wall that'll be home to the fake fireplace. But positioning it, well, it's a bit of a challenge.
Danny and Chelsea wanted to sort of center it with the window in my front room, which I agreed with. It seemed like a good idea, but I just kept thinking that it would look funny. I just have a feeling it needs to come down this way.
Usually those opinions come out in the second or the third day. They came out in the first hour. So, yeah, we knew where we were headed with this one.
I want the center to be right here. I was pretty adamant that I wanted to move it down just 6 or 8 inches. But look at Chelsea's going, no, don't do it.
Being able to visualize what this room is going to look like when it's finished is a big part of making this decision, and Barbara just isn't quite grasping it.
But it's central.
Are you worried about that?
Too.
Now, why'd you have to throw that in the mix?
So I think she's just gonna have to trust me here.
Oh, you really feel strongly about it?
I don't blame you. This is your house. I want you to be comfortable.
Like, I bet you that's not the center of that wall.
Oh my gosh, I can't work here anymore.
Okay, I'm going with Chelsea. I'm going with the expert. Final decision. I acquiesced to their expertise, and I'm really glad I did. Definitely is where it should be.
Here, sign it. Well, I've been through a lot of these situations with homeowners where they try to decide, so they make a decision, and then later they change it. Not this time. I got her to sign off on that one.
So Dad, this bump out that I envision, it's only 6 inches, but you still have to build it like a legitimate wall.
Right. Normally with a fireplace, you'd have to build a horizontal header and support the weight above it. Here, it was just a wall. Now the reason I'm building this out just a little bit like this is not because we're going to recess the electric fireplace. Actually, we have to mount it on the wall. So bringing it out a little bit like this allows me to run my crown molding, bump it out and around, which always looks good, and this will make it more of a focal point in this room, which is exactly what we're after. Oh, by the way, how you like the artwork?
When the framing is complete, our electrician Jeremy arrives to wire an outlet for the TV and a pair of sconces on the fireplace wall. Once he's finished, we can install the drywall, which is a material called High Impact XP from National Gypsum. It's called High Impact because the gypsum core includes a built-in fiberglass mesh to protect the surface from dents, dings, and penetrations. I used it in my new house for the garage walls, so it should stand up to the abuse of Barbara's rowdy grandsons. Meanwhile, Chelsea is starting the accent wall.
We want our vertical boards to be plumb, and it makes it a whole lot easier when we're installing the boards if we already have that plumb line drawn on the wall.
Well, I am my father's daughter, so of course we're going to use construction adhesive to install the boards for our accent wall, but it also serves a purpose because not all of the boards are going to fall on studs. We want to make sure the boards stay up once we put them in place.
We finished the vertical pieces, and I said, I kind of like it the way it is.
I do like it too. My only thought, and I don't care either way, is that I would think that this is more of a casual look, and the more horizontals you add dresses it up.
My daughters and I do everything together, so I did a group text to the girls, said, okay, everybody vote. And they all three immediately said, yes, Mom, put the horizontal pieces in.
With the accent wall complete at the end of the day, Barbara's homework is priming the raw wood with a little help from her grandson.
I think I have this fireplace thing figured out. What about your cornice over here?
I mean, I'm pretty much just going to build a box and hang it above the window.
Okay, you're going to use the 1x8 to bring it down?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think I'm about ready to get started cutting
Okay.
it. You know, there's nothing more iconic than having nice brick on the front of a fireplace, but bricks can cost a lot of money and take a lot of time to put up. Well, brick paneling like this is only $35 a sheet. And it's so authentic looking. I mean, it'll look great as regular red bricks like this, but it'll look even better with the treatment that Chelsea has in mind.
So Dad, what weighs more, a ton of bricks or a ton of brick paneling?
It weighs the same.
Having a security camera inside your house is nothing new. It connects right to your Wi-Fi and you can watch it live, or it can record for you. So it's great. If you're on vacation or at work, you can see if there's any disturbance in your home, or if you just want to keep an eye on your pets. But it's very limited because most cameras will only focus on what's in the frame. But what if you want to see something that moves outside of the frame? Well, you couldn't really do that until now. WiseCam has come up with this little guy right here. Look, this camera is designed to follow the action because it is motion activated. So when you put it in place, it can spin 360 degrees in 3 seconds. It can also tilt up 93 degrees so that it can see what's going on. So you never lose what's going on inside your house just because it stepped out of frame. So if you want to update your indoor security system camera, this is a great option.
Barbara's family room makeover is well underway. The accent wall just needs paint and the faux brick panel is in place, so Bear and I can begin building the mantle, while Chelsea and Barbara are busy creating the window treatments.
To help tie the cornice boards into the dining room wall and the fireplace mantle, we're using lattice strips. Even though they're a bit thinner and smaller, it'll still mimic the same design.
All right, so just like the grid wall, I was thinking we would do the horizontal pieces at the top and bottom, the full length, and then we would use the small vertical pieces. And since you have the 3 windows, I thought we would put the vertical pieces where the stiles already are.
I am really going to like this.
Okay, good.
A lot.
That makes me happy.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gluing it before you can change your mind. You wouldn't do that.
I think Barbara was a little confused on exactly where the fireplace face and the mantle was going.
It was fascinating every time I came in and out and watched him with 2x4s constructing this something. I just could not believe that what he was building with 2x4s was going to end up looking like a fireplace. I just couldn't picture it.
But as the legs took shape and she saw the height of the mantle, then it started making sense. I think that's perfect. The layer upon layer really is going to come out great.
Yeah, especially now that it's going to match the other two design elements in the room.
I know. We've gotten to know each other fairly well, so instead of me asking your opinion, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you how it should be.
Okay.
All right. Okay. This is just a prop. This is I think this is not thick enough. Even though if you were painting everything, it would be probably appropriate. Okay. I'm suggesting we go with a 2x8, which will be twice this thick.
I like that.
And let's stain it to match the floor.
Love it.
That'll be all right?
I love it.
All right, good. That's what we'll do.
Wait, they got one more thing though. The electrician's come and gone. We've talked about sconces.
Oh, the sconces. Yeah, that does surprise people a lot of times. The same way we do like bathroom vanities. The wire is back there and we know exactly where it is. But the reason we do that is so that if you decide not to have any sconce at all after you see it, no problem. If you decide like in a bathroom situation where you have more than one light, maybe one in the middle or whatever, no problem, we got that covered. So what we'll do is we'll kind of position the TV there and we'll know right where we want that sconce and you don't have to guesswork.
Okay, sounds good.
Back outside, Chelsea is experimenting with a whitewash finish for the faux brick panel.
What is that? Is that
Well,
just...
right now it's 50-50 water and paint.
Okay.
I think we do it and then we go back and wipe it off with a wet sponge.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to work for us.
By the time they get the whitewash finish on the fireplace, we're at the end of the day. For homework, Barbara and her family finish up the rest of the painting. So the next morning, the cornices are ready to go in.
Got it?
Here's your tape.
Oh, thank you. Are you being smart, Alec? It says AARP on it. Really?
I wasn't trying to say anything about Barbara's age. I had just seen her using that same tape measure earlier in the day.
Didn't come from my belt. All right, so we just want to make sure our margin on either side is equal.
Meanwhile, I'm getting the mantle top ready, while Bear installs the crown molding we've selected to fit this room.
Crown molding, obviously the best thing to do if you're not sure what size you need, get a couple different sizes sold by the foot, take it home, put a piece up there, compare it to the molding you have around your window and around the doors, see what looks good.
Finally, it's time to install the electric fireplace. Hang the wall sconces, set the mantle top, and mount the television. The main living area of Barbara's new home was in nice enough condition, but it just didn't have nearly as much personality as its owner. There were broad blank walls and great windows with nothing to frame them. But now, we've added the focal point this space desperately needed. Even though this fireplace isn't a real one, it adds the warmth and character that was missing from this room. The clean lines of the mantel seem to fit the house perfectly, and the wall space above it is an ideal space for the TV and the sconces we've added. The crown molding adds a touch of elegance to the whole area, and the grid we created on the accent wall breaks up that space nicely without stealing too much thunder from the fireplace. And the window treatments echo the linear design in both of those elements.
I cannot tell you how nice my room looks now. It's so warm and so attractive, and it's just a beautiful space. I had already kind of had it in my head that I wanted to have a fake fireplace, but I didn't have a clue how to even start. And it is in exactly the right spot, Danny, you were right. After working with Danny and Chelsea, I think I've got a little bit of confidence that maybe I can tackle the next one. I'll give it a shot.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. You know, it's always amazing to me when we can take a few simple materials straight from the home center and add a little extra paint, throw in an electric fireplace, and we made a dramatic difference in this home, all for less than $800. Hey, I hope we've been able to inspire you with a few ideas that you can use at your house. I'm Danny Lipford. We'll see you next week right here on Today's Homeowner.
I had my fingers behind it, and Chelsea's pushing it up. And
Oh, no. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Sorry.
Stop. Starting to wonder, did I have the right crew here? Was this a good choice?
Next week, we're helping a family update their kitchen by opening up the view to the family room.
Flames.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
You want me to help you some way?
Yeah, that's way too obvious.
Boom.